Hey everyone, it's the 22nd of September 2025 at 10:35 in the evening. I just got out of the shower and it's hot and muggy. And anyway, I'm having one of those days where it's like I don't understand how it's this late. I feel like I have worked all day and yet achieved literally nothing on the few things that I wanted to do. But at the same time, how today went also did a good thing because it finally helped me see that I've been so anxious and overwhelmed about the move, right? Instead of focusing on the good, happy things, which I am very excited about, is because I feel like Merv and I sort of told ourselves we wanted to do it around the end of October, but yet this is when we started beginning discussing it at the end of, say, August, right? I mean, we went into the agency to talk to them about it, to do the right thing by the landlord and the, owner, whatnot, and that on the 3rd of September. And yet it's now the 22nd of September. And yesterday, I'm really happy with how well we did with the decluttering and things like that. But just given how long it's taken me to write or try to get together the information I need for all my medication and my conditions, and trying to put lists together for like every time you see a new doctor or specialist, they ask you to fill out a form. And one of the usual standard questions is something like, have you ever had surgery in the past? And if so, what for and when? And I always write the same thing, which is, I've had too many to remember, right? Which isn't helpful at all, yeah? So I started putting a list together for that because I've got all of these different filing cabinets here. Filing, you know what I mean, slip things, with a lot of my medical stuff in it, plus obviously all the medical paperwork that I requested. Too tired to think, people. But my point being is, didn't even get to the point where I had to manage to send the email, which ideally needed to be sent sometime last week, let alone the day before. What am I talking about? I have therapy at 9 o'clock in the morning, which I'm very much looking forward to. But then I'm speaking to my doctor at 10:30, and this is in regards to the medication review and all the information I need. And I wanted to send her an email to let her know what the appointment is about. And in the end, because I messaged her this morning saying, please remember it's a phone message, because I got the automatic reminder. And I was like, I'm in the process of sending you an email. I'll let you know once I've sent it. And then like at 6:30 or so, I was like, I don't know what happened, but clearly the email did not. I was like, so I will explain everything to you in the appointment, which is tomorrow, and it's a long, complex appointment booked. And then book an immediate follow-up within, your next availability within the next couple of days. That gives me time to finish the email, right? But anyway, like I said, today totally didn't go how I thought it would, but had a really good outcome in the sense of I haven't felt at peace with the dates that we've been talking about locking into place, right? And I said to Merv, and I said to you guys a few days ago, I can't have you booking in dates or doing anything until I have spoken to my therapist and my doctor, right? I said, because something isn't sitting with me. I'm still incredibly anxious. Like, we have to do this right? Because once it's booked in, we need to give lease. Once we give notice to the lease, that's the day we've got to be out. And I think I will lose my mind, right, if we end up packing in a rushed state and end up doing the same thing we did in Melbourne, because in Melbourne there was no looking at anything. It was get everything into the box, get it packed and sent up, and then I'll deal with it when I got up here. Like I said yesterday, I realize so much of the overwhelm is because all of this stuff that needs to be sorted, it's all paperwork. It's like there is so much of it, but it's actually really easy to start going through once you start it. And in my case, have it, body double, as in Merv being there with me, which I was hoping to do today again. But anyway, it truly hit me, and I said this to Merv yesterday, right? Like, I talk about it all the time. Yeah, the universe speaks to us in all different wonderful ways, and electronics and energy and things like that, the most frequent way. And the other night, it was random. I was awoken by something, and I had this thought go through my head, which was the 20th to the 24th of October isn't going to be long enough, and we're going to need to push it out, right? This was just this random intuitive thought that went through my head at whatever time in the middle of the night it was that I was working, right? When the house was dark, obviously, Murph was asleep and everything was, whatever, quiet. And in the moment of having that thought, right, as in the pure realization that we are trying to rush something that's just not feasible, not with me and keeping sane at the same time, right? I'd like to be able to keep my sanity, yeah? And not push myself to the fact that I can barely move or function or anything like that from pain and fatigue. Anyway, so, like I said, middle of the night, had to stop, been woken up, whatever. And I swear to God, guys, my TV just decides to randomly turn itself on. It was so fucking like, my instinct feeling was, well, that's a sign if I've ever fucking seen one, right? And I made a mental note to tell Merv, I was like, there's just no way this can be done. The universe is once again screaming at me. Turn the fucking television on all by itself in the middle of the night, right when I had that thought, right? To make sure that I paid attention to it. And I did, I told Merv. But Merv again sort of reassured me it was completely fine, everything would be good, it's all going to be okay. Today I realized and told him that he has been saying that to me literally about everything since the day I met him. And, well, if you've been watching for long enough, you'll know that's just not the case, yeah? And so I said to him, we need to rethink this. We need to look at the calendar, work it all out. I want the last day, like the day we want to be out by, to be on a Friday, because our rent payments come out fortnightly on Fridays. So we just want to have it rounded up. Like, we know for a fact, right? So we're looking at the 14th of November, yeah, to give us more than enough time, because as Merv reminded me today again, like, there are various things on the caravan that need to be done as well, and also completely scrubbed inside out. There's just not enough time. But with the 14th of November, that is plenty. Like, I feel completely calm with, like, officially putting end of, like, early leasing, yeah, termination. Now, we know we're already liable at least until the following Friday, which is the 21st of November, for the 1 week in between. However, like I've said, I called the RTA and I spent almost an hour on the phone talking to this lovely lady. And by giving this amount of notice and explaining we're on pensions, we want to work with the owner so that he doesn't lose any money and can get someone in here straight away, because as far as we're concerned, everything will be out, we'll be gone, they'll have the week in between to do whatever it is they say they need to be done. And like I said, everything is on a Friday, which is perfect because they could effectively have someone moving in on the 22nd of November, right? Saturday. Which I plan to put in an email to them along with everything that was said by what we were advised with the form, you know, because they can very much have people coming through, put up a sign, like the whole works, right? Nothing in the legislation that says they can't. But for me, I feel like I can breathe again. It's the same thing that I'm always constantly reminding myself of, which is if I've said it 100 times out loud, it means it's super important. And like I said to Merv today, I can't put myself through that. Like the 20th, because of the way it works, I don't think you get like a more like definite date until closer. But let's say the truck arrived on the 20th of October. That is 29 days from now, right? Now, we're already going to Brisbane on the 7th of October. Since we're getting back at 3:30 in the morning the following day, because we took the more comfortable train home, the following day is going to be a literally doing nothing day because we can't. So that's 2 days out. And there's just so much in between that needs to be done. So I cannot believe I've talked for 12 and a half minutes because I thought I'd talk for about 2, I'm going to lie. But I am happy to say that I haven't been mad at myself today, which is a nice, happy plus, because usually a day like today would make me really mad at me for feeling like a failure. And don't get me wrong, I have said a few things throughout the day, but it's definitely been like a normal, regular amount of frustrated, I would say is a fair way to put it, yeah? But I really am, I'm tired. And like I said, I do have therapy at 9. I remember I was offered like 9, 12 and 2. And thinking that 9 o'clock was a good idea, you know, I'm usually up early, blah, blah, blah. Even at the time, I think my intuition knew that was probably dumb. But it is what it is. So I gotta go. And yeah, I guess you'll all hear a much better update tomorrow when I upload my therapy session. Until then, good night, everyone.